Hey y'all, Rick Rex here, back with another one for you. And today we're going to touch on a subject very near and dear to me, and that's alts. Now I've had a lot of conversation lately about alts and questions about how many, how much money do I spend on them, why do I have them, how long it took me to level them, and how much time do I really spend on them. Now we're going to answer all of these questions plus the most important one together, and that's, is it really worth it to have and maintain them in 2022? But first, if you like what you see and you want more, hit that like and subscribe button to help keep the channel growing and also to not miss one single update as they drop. So the first question that we really need to hit on for me is, how many do I have? Well, I'm going to go on ahead and start by saying I'm an anomaly, and before I answer the question in specific, I do have to preface it by saying I love the game. Yes, that much. So the answer here is, prior to sharing with y'all on YouTube, I had a total of 24 tunes, and I would really treat 2 of those as what most would refer to as mains. And that means getting as many goodies as I possibly can, plus the keeper of my nearly 700 skill points that I've collected over the years. Now, as far as the ones that I run regularly, and by that I mean at least once or twice a week and are near max CR, and that means 370 plus, I have 14 of those that I run through in-game content. And yes, to answer the question, I run rolls on all of them. Now, the rest I really use to farm seasonals and for storage, and then I decided to start sharing with y'all here on YouTube and helping out in the community, and I had to make another 15 tunes on live to show off a run-up and also being able to show those tunes in current content with each of the power sets. So currently I'm trying to juggle 39 tunes, and let's just say that's interesting at best. Well now, since you know how many alts I have and how many I juggle like a circus clown, let's talk about why I have them. The first thing for me really is storage. You just simply ever cannot have enough. And if your inventory and bank slots are opened up on your main, that carries over onto your alts as well. So those things like catalysts and the collections and the things that we're holding on to sell in the broker for later to make a little bit of money, that requires space, and really alts are the solution to that, because even opened all the way up, I can find a way to fill up my inventory, as crazy as it sounds. Now the second is farming. You really can't imagine how much it helps out from a time perspective to have multiple tunes to attack something like a seasonal, either to knock out those feats really quickly when they come out, or to be able to catch up on them when a lot of currency is needed for it if you happen to take a break or miss something last year. Now, keeping on this same track, OP items and episode augments are also farmable in this manner, so that really shortens the cycle in maxing those out as well. Everything having to do with these things for the most part is tradable or account bound, so you can funnel these things to the tune that it's needed on from one or the other. The best part is that you don't have to spend replays to complete it in a timely manner, so you can really enjoy it for the content while it's there. And the third main thing to me is, it's just a simple change of pace. Each one of these power sets plays radically differently in DPS role, plus you have their separate role, which adds a whole new layer to the game. Now I love to tank, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I just want to heal, or maybe I even want to troll. And sometimes there's even a feat that I just can't get on my Arc tune while tanking because his health pool isn't big enough that's an easy layup on my Rage tune. Now, it really allows me to enjoy the game how I want to in the moment without having to buy a respec token to do it. So it's a matter of convenience as well. So let's move on to how many that we actually need. Well, that depends highly on your motivation for having them. If you're patient enough, truth be known, you don't need any. But if I were starting fresh today, I'd say a nice round number is 3. I'd do a tank, a troll, and a healer. And if your group needs a role and you can't find one, it makes it pretty easy for you to be able to fill it yourself, plus you really get that nice variety of gameplay. Now, if you are using them for seasonals, then as many as you can level to 25 that you can stand, or if you're leveling them to endgame for those catalysts and currency, then honestly as many as you can stomach. But that really boils down to how much time do you want to dedicate to it. The initial time sink of getting them up is one thing, but maintaining them is a different story. If you find yourself with extra time and you want something to throw at that extra time, then this could be the solution for you. Well, all that being said, the next question is how much money do you spend on them? Well, as they are alts, they really aren't supposed to be game-breakingly good unless you're trying to be super competitive with every single one. I was, but that's a totally different story. Really, those alts just need to be competent to get through content. I would spend some on replays for each of them to get their skill points around 410 or so, and the artifacts really need to be around 160 to be sufficient. Plus, you need at least 2 armories. You get one free in-game, and the other one, well, you need to purchase that, but that's one for DPS and one for your role. Now, if you are planning on running them in current content pretty easily, you really do need those. Now, artifacts will come in time, as will the gear and the augments, but the only thing that you'll really have to spend some on are those replays for the skill points and the armory, which in the end isn't too bad and honestly to me is worth the convenience. And then there's the age-old question, how much time? Well, it's a double-sided question, and the first part of that is to get it to endgame? Well, not really long at all with the omnibus system nowadays. It's really lightning fast to be able to have a tune to endgame compared to how it was. Now, if I had tried to speed through it, I could honestly have a tune to endgame content in 2 days being really conservative. Now, how long does it take to run them? Well, that depends on what you're trying to accomplish with them. If you're just trying to use them for seasonal stuff or for storage, then heck, no time at all, honestly. And for endgame, that also depends on what you're trying to accomplish. I can honestly say that if you're not trying to max the tunes but keep them in current content for variety, then you can easily keep them up to date running each one through content every other week. Now, farming is really as needed or as cooldowns allow, and if you're trying to max them but you're not in a hurry, run them at least twice a week, plus a few replays during bonus currency week, of course. So that brings us to the real and final question about alts in 2022. Is it worth it to have them and use them? To me, absolutely. It gives me the change of pace that I really need to keep me going and prevents that burnout that can easily occur with content the way that it's spaced out nowadays. And honestly, to have an alt or 10, well, it doesn't really require as much time as one would think. From a storage perspective and a cost perspective, whatever you put into it, honestly, you're going to reap those rewards later. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. But thanks y'all for joining, and once again, if you like what you see and you want more, hit that like and subscribe button to help keep the channel growing and also to not miss one single update as they drop. I'll see y'all next time.